Today I want to share 5 pieces of grip and other tools that I think that every photographer needs in their studio. Hey everybody, Lindsay Adler here, and we as photographers love to focus on the flashy things when it comes to photography. Sometimes literally the strobes and the modifiers, but we often forget to talk about some of the other important tools that make a shoot work. In fact, this is what happened to me. I learned about photography and I learned about cameras and lenses and strobes, but not about other important tools for my studio. And so that's what I want to share with you today. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 of the tools, both grip and otherwise, that I use most often to help me do my job, help make it easier. And so let's begin with some of the simplest tools that I use the most often. First, we're going to take a look at a knuckle. Most commonly, you'll see a knuckle on a C-stand. And the reason is that it is a great tool to hold a C-stand arm, which is what you put your light on. But it can be used for so many more things than that. For example, you can use it to hold a reflector or a piece of foam core. But one of the things that I use it for more often than not is to hold other pieces of grip. For example, clamps and flags. And so that moves me on to the next tool that I think photographers need in their studio, which is a flag. A flag fundamentally is something that is used to block light. And this could be used maybe to darken down a reflection on something shiny in the scene. Or maybe you're blocking light from the floor that's a little bit too distracting in your shot. Or maybe you're using the flag to put an interesting shadow down the center of your subject when you are using hard light. Flags have many different uses. Now, the flag that I have here is a solid black flag that's used to block light, but there are other ones that will let some light through and just darken down the area a little bit. And so flags become very useful when it comes to control, and you attach them to a stand using a knuckle. The next piece of grip that I want to talk about is a tool that I didn't know about until I was a professional photographer for a long time. But they are so useful, and they are Cartolini clamps. Fundamentally, a Cardellini clamp is used to hold things, all sorts of different things. It could, again, be a reflector. You could use it to hold a piece of foam core, but I use it very commonly to hold scrims as well as backgrounds. And that's one of the reasons they come in different sizes. You choose the right size Cardellini based upon what you're going to be holding. So it can be 2 inches, it could be 6 inches. Cardellini clamps you may also hear by other names depending on the brand that makes them. Cardellini clamps are held in place on a stand using the knuckle. The next tool that I want to share is one that I honestly could not live without, and it is a roller stand. I use C-stands all the time for all sorts of different things, but the roller stand makes my life so much easier. Typically, I put my main light on the rolling stand because it makes it easy to move around my set, so I can make tiny tweaks in the light without it being a huge hassle. Often, if I have a big modifier and a heavy light on a C-stand and then I have the sandbag, I'm not as likely to move it and tweak the light to get the perfect shot. But when it's on a nice, stable roller stand, it is extremely easy, and I use this for pretty much every shoot that I do. Last but not least is a tool that I always use with the roller stand, which is my Avenger Mini Boom. This is a telescoping boom arm. So instead of just being a C-stand arm, I can easily adjust the length and make it longer. This is extremely useful when I'm shooting and perhaps want to have paramount light on my subject without the stand being in the shot. Or maybe I want to extend the light out so it's a little bit more top down, but it doesn't get in the way of my frame. Telescoping boom arm I find to be far more useful for the main light than simply using a C-stand arm. The one that I use is the Avenger D600, but the category of arm is going to be a mini boom or a telescoping arm. Now, while these tools might not be as shiny and exciting as we typically focus on, they are indispensable to the way that I shoot. They make it easier for me to set up. They make it easier for me to position the light. And fundamentally, they help me not think about my gear, but instead, they help me focus on the shot. Now, if you'd like to see the gear that I featured here, be sure to check out the links in the descriptions below and check out Adorama.com. And of course, if you want more great content like this, be sure to like and subscribe because I have so much more content just like this coming your way. See you next time.